Good evening and welcome to the stream. Thank you guys all for coming. It's been a very eventful Tuesday. So, once again, I'd like to thank you guys for coming. And yeah, so today was actually for me the first day back in the office in 5 years. So, it was a little bit interesting, um, having to actually go back into work. Wasn't there terribly long, but definitely kind of an interesting thing. So, we're going to give it a couple minutes here for some folks to join, and we'll go ahead and jump right into to the topic. I think it's kind of an interesting one, and one that I've really talked about a lot in like my local fish club board meetings and stuff like that. Trying to push the hobby to be more, and the club to be a little bit more technologically advanced. So let me see who we've got so far in the chat. I know we've got Skull and Davo. Branton Lightcap is here as well. Alan B, welcome. So, so we'll give it here just another second or two, and then I can kind of jump into kind of what generated my thoughts on this topic. Because I was actually going to do something a little bit different and talk about a different topic tonight, but after this Facebook post, I kind of veered me to this direction instead. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in. So good. So Skull said the AV is good, which hopefully I've kind of worked out the bugs on that for now. So Zen Ginger's here. Thank you for modding as usual. So all right, I think we've got at least a quorum to start with. So let's go ahead and start. Yeah, so this last Sunday I went to a local swap. We do a swap here in this area about once a quarter. It's not with the club; it's an individual that does it. And hello, Lumpy Dog. And so basically, there's a Facebook group that goes along with the swap. So if you're selling at the swap, you can put in, hey, I'm bringing in, X number of Cory cats, plants, whatever, right? Kind of advertise it. But after the swap on Sunday, someone posted about the fact that vendors were not accepting like credit cards, PayPal, Venmo, you name your technological thing. And it got very heated in the fact that, some people were like, oh, you're lazy. You should just go to the bank and get cash. And it was kind of it turned a little nasty actually. So it was kind of, like I'm not going to like pull it up or anything, 'cause I'm not going to put anyone on blast. But yeah, it got really, really, really nasty. Like some people were like, oh, you're just lazy. You're not going to the bank. And I'm like, and I've always had some very strong opinions on, that kind of thing with the fish tank hobby. A lot of this comes down to how you like deal with money and stuff. Me personally, I am very much a person who I don't carry cash. Like the only cash that I ever carry is actually for fish stuff, and that's like the only time I will ever carry cash for really anything. Other than that, and then during like the school volleyball season, I actually would carry some cash to go to those games too for like admission and stuff like that. So those are kind of the only times where I would personally carry, cash money around with me. I usually just use like my debit card, and that way it's it's instant. You can track it, online or whatever. I know people handle it differently. I know there's people who are more cash based, and that's fine. Like I'm not going to throw shade on anyone for how they live their life or anything like that. But that being said, I thought it was a little disingenuous of the vendors to be. I don't. I should go back. I don't think those people. I don't know if those people were vendors, but it was a little bit disingenuous to say that the vendors should only just accept cash. Like, and the people were making the point in the Facebook back and forth. Hey, I actually spend more money if I bring some cash and I want to buy more things. I'll just pull out a credit card, and then I'll pull out a credit card, and then everything's I can still get what I want. So I kind of think in this particular case, I think vendors should accept some form of electronic payment. I'm not saying you should go out and get a square, a $300 square reader or anything like that. But PayPal is pretty easy to set up. I mean, a lot of people have PayPal or Venmo or Cash App or name your way, right? And I think I think you would actually get more sales because people are actually willing to buy, are willing, you're accepting more ways for people to pay. I think that's just better for, your business if you're selling at a swap. Now, I know there's people who don't want, at least accept PayPal. Right. That's what I'm saying. PayPal's easy. Like I said, I'm not saying to get like the Visa machine and, you know, so, Fish Fam Link is here. Welcome. But yeah, so it's basically, it's just one of those things where I just think, in my personal opinion, vendors should be accepting some sort of other form of payment other than cash. So, yeah, I mean, I agree. Skull, and Alan say, I agree. You should always have some cash. Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I've been kind of conditioned by the fish hobby to kind of carry cash, but for me, but for me, I really do think you should really start, accepting some more electronic forms of payment. Like our club accepts, PayPal, for example. You can do PayPal through the club. I mean, that's another way that you can, excuse me, it's another way you can the club can kind of make money from memberships or everything like that. So, hello, Jason. Hello, Benjamin. How are you? Hello, Steven. So that's just kind of my little rant about that particular thing. Like, in my opinion, like clubs, vendors, you should be accepting of some sort of electronic payment, whether it's a Square Reader, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, whatever thing that it is. That's my opinion. You should just be willing to accept those forms of payment. So, I don't know what you guys think in the chat. Go ahead and put that in there and let me know kind of what you think about that. And then it kind of leads into some other things that I've always kind of had kind of beefs with the fish hobby in terms of the use of technology. And I know Corey's kind of said this a lot in his streams, but there's a lot of like online websites and stuff that are very old school. Like I think this is still the case. There's a vendor online that you actually have to call them to place an order. Yes, you can look on their website. I believe this is still the case. I'm not going to call them out or anything. But it's an equipment vendor, and you have to call them and talk to them and do all that stuff. And it's like in 2025, I think you should be able to click something and pay it and then be done with it. So, and that's just my personal opinion. And that goes with things like fish clubs too. Fish clubs a lot of times, fish clubs a lot of times too are very. I feel like especially the older fish clubs, the ones that were started like in the 60s or 70s, like they're very kind of stuck in this like 90s era kind of thing where it's like they don't really want to embrace technology. Like I fight with the board quite a bit. Like we had a newsletter for the longest time where basically like we would print out a newsletter and put it in the mail and mail it to people. And this was going back, we just got rid of it. I think it was like 2 years ago we got rid of it finally. And I fought for probably 3 to 4 years. I'm like, people don't do mail things anymore. Or most people don't do mail things anymore. So I've kind of really, gone after that in terms of the fish club, where it's like, hey, we don't need to mail a newsletter to people. The majority of people use email or to receive information. So why don't we just email people and, be done with it? Because the club was spending like $50 to email this. I mean, it was a very nice looking newsletter, but the club was spending like $50 a month to send this in the mail. And I was getting it somehow for a while, even though I opted for the electronic version. And I was just like, no, like we should just not spend this money. And people got, there was a former member of our board who was very upset about that, and he wrote a diatribe, basically pages-long diatribe, how it was, like ruining the club that we're not sending this newsletter to fish stores in a paper format. But there's a lot of like examples out there of like Steven brought up in the chat like when the wet spot we used to be like email us to order. like yeah, like I shouldn't have to email you to order. So Zen had a good point. Yes, I know the bank does do like the overdraft fees and stuff like that. I know it's kind of a touchy subject, touching on money, so I do want to be a little careful with that, and I don't want to offend anyone. Yeah, I mean that's kind of one of the reasons I use. Um, yeah, I use the cash for the like the fish stuff, just so there's kind of a backstop. Like most of my other normal transactions aren't like large. You know, the things that I actually go out and like would go buy at a store. Obviously you pay your house and cars and all that stuff online, but yeah, but yeah, like that's the only reason I use cash is for fish stuff because it's kind of a backstop. But I would be fine if like our club said, hey, we're not doing the cash anymore for our auctions, and you have to run a tab with a credit card. I would do that, and I would just make sure I write it down. I've actually kind of proposed that in the past a little bit because our treasurer is walking out of the fish club with, I'm not going to say the amount of money, but it's significant, and you kind of eliminate that aspect of it, if you're just doing everything cashless. And I mean that's a security thing for like if you're a vendor too, if someone got ill intentions and you're a vendor and you're carrying all this cash around with you, I mean, you never know what can happen, right? So, hey Eric, how's it going? So Eric was actually at the swap. I got to meet. I think I've actually met Eric before, but got to talk to Eric a little bit at the swap, which was a lot of fun. It was good to see him. So hello, Jeff Kane. How are you? But yeah, so that's kind of my little rant. I mean, do you guys have any examples of technology as well where you've seen things in the fish hobby where it kind of could be improved a little bit? Because I really do feel a lot of the fish hobby is very kind of stuck, kind of in its ways a little bit when it comes to technology. Another one here, our auctions, right? So everyone, let me find a different color. I save these for our buy it now table, but for our auction, let me see if I can focus here. There we go. So for our auction, like when a bag of fish goes through the auction, you have like basically this little card gets filled out. Like you put the number. I'm gonna try to do this backwards. So you've got the bag number goes up top, and then what it's sold for. And this little card touches like 5 or 6 sets of hands before it gets like put in the computer for the auction. Like I feel that there's a way, or someone's developed a software to like automate this little card. So that because obviously you're when you have more people touching something, the more likely they are to make a mistake, right? Like say I have bad handwriting, so if I write my zero poorly on the price, then someone can type it in wrong, et cetera, et cetera. So that's my little kind of rant here on the technology thing. And if you have any examples in the chat of things where you kind of think the aquarium hobby could do a little bit better with technology, like either at the fish club level or vendors, just kind of shoot it in the chat because it's kind of an interesting thing to think about every so often. It's like hey, we do things kind of inefficiently because I'm one of those people who's kind of Steven. Yeah, so Steven said the average age of freshwater fish keeper is 135. Oh boy. So the average age of the freshwater fish keeper is 135 years old. So definitely not on the bleeding edge. No, I get it. No, I get that too. Like, but there are a lot of people who are older who do embrace technology. Like my dad's fairly decent. My dad's 74 years old. He's pretty decent at using it. My father-in-law is pretty decent at it. My mother-in-law my mother's maybe not as good. But there's a lot of people still that are like in that older group that still can function with technology. So, yes, so definitely a good thing. So before we kind of move on to the game real quick, I do want to kind of plug the membership a little bit. If you want to see my talk that I gave last month at the Motor City Aquarium Society auction or club meeting, excuse me. Go ahead, sign up for the memberships, and I'm actually going to gift some memberships too. Um, so let me do that real quick. Oh, so we'll go ahead and gift some memberships, to make sure. I want people to see that. So looks like Eric got one, Benjamin Peters got one, Fatfish Designs got one, New Local Austin got one, and Third Space Maker got one. So yep. So if you guys check out, there's some members videos out there as well. Like I'll do some various members videos. Like I'll go, hey, I went to the fish club meeting kind of videos and things like that. So you're welcome, guys. So so the talk actually was really good. I was really proud of that talk. That was the best version that I did of it. I actually do better on that than I do like in the live stream. So check that out, and definitely appreciate your support. So thank you, Stephen, for becoming a member. Definitely appreciate it. So maybe if we get up to like 30 members or so, I'll do like a members live stream, and we can just shoot the crap about whatever. We can talk about sports or life or whatever you guys want to talk about, other than like politics and religion. So with that, let's go ahead and get started with the game. It's just going to take me a quick second to set that up, but the game is actually based off of this. Now, I want to explain the game a little bit first before I switch the screens over. The game is actually based off of a book that my daughter made. So my daughter made this book. She gave it to me for Christmas a couple years ago, and then she updated it for my birthday this year. So it's called Mike's Fish Collectible Book, and she actually went onto I have a Google Drive where I keep have all the fish that I keep, so I keep all the location information, where I got them from, et cetera, et cetera. So she goes through here and rates the fish, basically like on how basic she thinks. I know this is not going to show up very well on camera, but she goes ahead and like ranks the fish on like how basic she thinks they are. So she went out and found pictures of all the individual fish, and said, hey, I think this fish is basic, or I think this fish is kind of horrible. So that's the genesis. And then what she did is she ranked them between 1 to 10, and that really kind of provided the kind of the genesis for this game. And then Branton Lightcap with the members super chat with Wisconsin Fish Fam. Yep. I don't think there's that many Michigan Fish Fam, now that I think about it. I think there's only Eric and I that I know about, and Josh Cunningham. So those are the three kind of fish YouTubers that I'm kind of aware of. There's probably others. So hello, Dee Dee. So we're going to play that game kind of based off that book. So I'm going to pull it up real quick, and we're going to go ahead and switch the screens here. And hopefully you'll hear some music along with me talking here, and we'll go ahead and play the game. All right, so you guys, make sure we got audio. All right, so we got audio. All right, so basically the game that we're playing here is called Are They Basic? A non-fish keeper's view on the fish that we keep. And I need to make sure I get chat up real quick. So can you guys give me a really quick audio check real quick, make sure we're good? I think we are, just based on what I'm seeing, but just want to make sure we're good there. So basically, are they basic? Non-fish keeper's view on the fish we keep. This is the game. We'll probably do this every week. I'll probably run. Excuse me, I can't talk. I'll probably run out of fish in the book, so I'll have to have her do some more. Screen here. So basically the rules, I'll show you a picture of the fish, then you guess in chat if they're basic or not, between 1 and 10, 1 being very basic, 10 being awesome, very cool. And then after a few moments, I'll show you what my daughter's answer is. So I need to pull up chat real quick just to make sure that we're on the up and up here. Slide that screen over. Go back about that. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the first one. All right, so got the Xenotoka Dodoroi. Steven said the music could. Okay, gotcha. That's I was. Is that better? All right, so go ahead and guess in the chat what you think she said. So we got Skull with 10, Benjamin Peters with 5, MNC with 10. So we've got SC Catahulis, welcome. Lumpy Dog has 5.17684. So we don't do a lot of decimal points here. Eric Wyrock says 1. There are some that are 1. So don't. Oh. Yeah, I went down kind of far. So let me. Sorry. Yeah. There you go. Try that. There you go. So, hello, MNC. All right. So yeah. So looks like we got Tom Rizzo has 4. Let me see anyone else. SC Catahulis has 3. So let's go ahead and She said 8 out of 10. So Chelsea really did like, really actually did like the Xenotoka Dodoroi. So definitely, kind of cool that she enjoyed that. So that kind of warmed my heart a little bit. I thought she would kind of rate the good, the good ads kind of low. So moving on to the next fish here, I've got kind of a blue platy. I will give you a little bit of hint on this one. The blue platy that she actually took the picture of is a little bit nicer blue than this. So that kind of affected how she would rate this fish. So MNC's got 6. Skull's got 8. So Zen, hello Zen. Steven's got 9. Benjamin Peters has 7. Zen's got 6. JNN's got 6 as well. And we're not keeping any sort of points or anything either for this game. We're just kind of doing this for just fun. I think it's kind of fun. I really enjoyed this to kind of see where, someone who's a non-fish keeper, what they think of the fish we keep. And I think this really kind of came about because I brought some fish home one day from like a fish store or a swap. And she's like, all your fish are basic. And that's kind of where this kind of came from. So we've got some more. We've got a 4. We got a B- from Lumpy Dog. So B- would be about a 7. So we need points. Yeah, see, I don't have the bandwidth with just me running the stream to give points and do all that. I don't I need to develop a better system. Maybe at some point we can do points. But yeah, so let me go ahead and show you what this one is. 9 out of 10. So yeah, so we got a 9 out of 10 ranking for the blue platy. So let's move on to the next one here. This is the Rheseus warray. So this is the blue rice fish. So we'll let you guys go ahead and see what you got here. So Benjamin Peters just got a 10. MNC's 8. Skull is 6. So Steven's got 8. Let's see what else we got. So J&N Aquatics has 7. So Lumpy, if there's no points and there's not anything to keep track of. Sleeper Barbecue Grills to Gills has got 5. So we'll give it another couple seconds here. See if anyone else wants in on this one. All right. So the basic rating on this one, didn't like the rice fish, so not a big fan. So, yep. So 4 out of 10 for the rice fish. Not a real huge fan. I think she kind of likes the brighter colors. So let me, I can move myself out of the way a little bit. So next up, we've got a pleco. So curious what you guys think she rated the pleco at. So Benjamin said a 1, 6 for sure. Wrong lighting, they're amazing and good light, says Lumpy Dog. Skull's got 5, M&C's got 3. Steven's got 2. So Zen might be onto something with her comment. I bet she thinks those are kind of fancy looking. So she might be onto something. That's all I'll say. I'll give you a little hint. So Naomi says 8 and Jeremy says 10. So I'll give it another couple seconds here. Get any last minute guesses on what she thinks. So going once. So Sleeper Barbecue to Grills has 5. Going 10. So she 9 out of 10. So she ranked this very highly. She was very, very, very on board with the pleco. Like more than I am. Like I would not rank a pleco 9 out of 10. I would rank them probably like 5, 6, maybe 7. So hello, the joy of fish keeping. Welcome. So if there's anyone I haven't said hi to, thank you as well. All right, let's move on to the next one. So, got the shell dweller. And, so Benjamin asked how old is my daughter. I should probably say that. She is 17, so she's a senior in high school. So we're not, she's not a little kid anymore. She's kind of an adult, basically, at this point. So, hello, Audra, how are you? So, Audra, we're playing a game basically guessing how basic my daughter thinks certain aquarium fish are. So it's basically between 1 to 10, 1 being super basic, 10 being like awesome, I love it. And it's from the eyes of my daughter who's 17. So Steven said 1. And I will say that this one came with a comment as well. So we'll give that. Yeah, she's basically an adult. So, yeah, she turns 18 not January this year, September this year. So, Jeremy's got 6, Naomi 5. So she likes the eyes. So Audra said 9. So 5 out of 10. Maybe she's in a college class right now. So she goes Tuesday nights to a college class. So I think that would be. I think it would be fun to get her on here to have her actually do this herself. So SC Catahulis is changing it to Stephen comments small and dumb. I think they're snails. That's kind of funny. So, all right, we'll give it another couple of seconds here, then I'll go ahead and I'll flip you to the answer. And this answer is 2 of 10 with the comment of creepy. So, not down with the shell dwellers at all. So, thinks they're creepy. There's some other Tanganyikan cichlids that will be coming in the future, probably on this video. On these videos, not today, but that kind of have the same comment. So Skull she was like 12 the last time I saw her. Probably 13, 14, maybe. But that about right. Yeah. So she's, it was definitely like kind of early middle school. So yeah, so it was creepy for the shell dweller. So not down with the shell dweller at all. So then that was the last fish. So we'll go ahead and let me flip it back to me real quick. If I was, kind of good at doing this, I would be a little bit quicker at flipping the screens. But I'm not, so it's what we get. So so that's basically my, the game. So next week I'll pull out some more fish out of the book. Maybe pull up a couple other ones to have her kind of look at as well, and see what we think of it. I thought it was kind of fun, taking a look at her opinion to see how she views the fish through her eyes. Kind of like as like a non-Aquarius new fish keeper. I think it's really kind of cool to see someone else's perspective on that. So yeah, let me know if you enjoyed it too. Benjamin said that was actually kind of fun. Yes, I think it's kind of fun. So that was actually like a really fun way to look at the hobby. It's someone who's not a fish keeper, how they view the fish we keep, because we all have our preferences in terms of fish, right? Some people like rainbows, some people like cichlids, some people like, live bears, some people like, South American cichlids. So it's kind of interesting to see someone else's take that's like not in the mix per se. So MNC says, man, I like those sips behind you. Yeah, these are like by far my favorite fish. So when we go out to the barn, we are going to talk about some of the new fish, and I actually spent a lot more money at the swap than I thought I was going to. I kind of got like just took some money out like we talked about earlier. And it's like, I'm probably not going to buy anything, but I'll take some money with me just in case. And ended up with a lot more than I thought I would. So, SC Catahoula says, I don't understand those rainbow people. Yeah, but like kind of the point of the game, though, is to kind of see that like from like a non-fish keeper. So like someone who's like new to the hobby, right? So like if you're a new fish keeper, like you may like something that, because we were all new fish keepers at some point in our lives. Like you were drawn to the hobby by some fish, whether it was I think me it was like swordtails back in the day. Like there was a store in Michigan called Meyer. It's kind of like a Walmart, and so it was very like you were drawn to the fish that way. So there's a fish that gets you in the hobby. Whether it's like some people, I think it's black mollies, it's guppies, it's endlers, it's rainbow fish. It's just there is a fish for everyone in the hobby that kind of was that initial draw. You may not have that when you first start, but I think as you kind of move through the hobby, or like there's that one fish like that kind of that sucks you into getting your first tank. So with that, I think it's going to be time now to head out to the barn. So I have the barn cam up. I actually set it up today on the Tropheus tank with the Tropheus Red Morai Melorio. Those are the ones that are kind of skittish when we usually go in the fish room. So they're a little bit skittish, but with the camera out there, I'm kind of seeing it in the background of the stream here, and they're actually kind of out and about. There's a little bit of glare on this one just from the tanks on the other side of the room, but they're actually kind of out and about. They look a little green on here, which is not how their water looks in real life. But let's go ahead and pop a look in here pop a look in here. You guys can watch those guys, and then I'll head out to the barn and we can kind of talk about the fish I actually picked up at the swap. So give me about 2 to 3 minutes to get out to the barn, and we'll be back at it here shortly. All right, so we should be in the barn now. If you guys could give me an audio check. I'm just gonna head upstairs real quick, and then we can do that. All right. So we'll head upstairs real quick just so I can see what's going on, and then we'll go from there. So. So, oh, and I didn't mute the TV. Odd. So, all right. So we're good. So we're upstairs. Audio's good. So we don't have any looping or anything. So, all right. So let's start with what I got up here. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you the actual fish that I got up here, but I will try to show them to you. So I actually did pick up. So this is the tank that's home to the Xiphophorus milleri, as well as the Pasilia gili. I think there's one right there, actually. I think that might be. I mean, there's a ton of guppy grass in here, so we're kind of looking for a needle in a haystack here. And I think that's a Pasilia gili. Yeah, I think they're kind of hanging out in the back. So, but I did get some more Xiphophorus milleri. I think at some point I think I'll need to take this tank and kind of split it up between the two fish. I think the mollies here have kind of outcompeted the the platies in here, so I think I'll need to do that. Like, it might be down there, maybe. Hold on. Yeah, so I'm not gonna like try to hunt through all the guppy grass, but I did pick up some more of those. I was pretty excited about that. And then I think the rest of it's actually down. Nope, actually the next one's right over here. I actually did find a bunch more of these Corydorus aeneas. So I had about 2 or 3 in here before. And I bought like another 8 or so. So I really want to try to breed these. I'll have to probably get some blackworms. Maybe do some real water changes instead of just the auto water change on these to see if I can get these guys to spawn. Well, there's a good 8 or so in here now. There's a few over here. Let me get out of the way and see. There's a few over there. And then I got the swords in here still, the painted swords. And then, those have been in here, and so have excuse me. And so have been the giant Yucatan sailfin mollies. So cool stuff there. Pretty excited to have those. Just take a kind of checking stuff out as we go. So I do want to stop real quick. I know this isn't part of like the new fish, but actually Stan Schubel's grandson commented on my short with these today. Today. I don't know if it's a he or she, but it was like, "Hey, that's my grandfather. Like we miss him, et cetera, et cetera." So I thought that was kind of cool that Stan Schubel's grandson or granddaughter commented on that video. So. All right. So the other thing I bought, which is not really that exciting, but I bought some of these small aquarium co-op sponge filters. There's a guy in our local club that's a pretty big aquarium co-op fan. I mean, I am too, obviously. But yeah, so he's been kind of tearing down his fish room. So he's been selling a lot of co-op stuff. So he sold me these sponge filters. And since we're in here, if you were here last week, I showed you the tumbler with the plecos in it. They hatched. I put in here some algae wafers along with a piece of wood, and then that's one of the baby plecos. So I think there's a good like 15 to 20 kind of floating around in here. A lot of them I think are underneath the wood, but we're just gonna kind of let them do their thing and see if we can raise some pleco babies. Figured it'd be kind of a fun little experiment. So I think I ended up with like 3 of those total. So I kind of got my breeding rack going again here. And then the other fish I bought, we'll head back over this way. Is the Cyprochromis leptosoma from Caregi Island. So that's what they look like, fully colored up. So I put them in here in this 40 breeder along with the Shelleys. They're generally kind of a good mix to put together. So pretty cool. We got about 5 or 6 of them in here. So hopefully I can get them to breed in here with the Shelleys. I might throw some hornwort in the top just to provide some cover. But generally how this works is the Sips will stay at the top, the Shelleys will kind of stay at the bottom, and kind of everyone will be kind of one big happy family. So looking forward to those. I can't pass up Cyprochromis. Maybe some point I'll move those to a different tank. I might do some musical fish in here and move these fish around a little bit. But that was pretty cool to find some more Sips. And this is one that I've not seen before. So hopefully they'll do quite nicely for me. But it's kind of funny. Like I thought, they've been kind of mixing together, which I kind of didn't really think was going to happen. Like the sips have been kind of hanging out kind of lower down here, and kind of with the shellies, they've been kind of intermixing, which is not what I really would expect. Because if you look at these, like these guys right here, these are the um, Impibwe Blue Neon, and these guys are all at the top. Like if you go to the bottom of this tank, there's like nothing at all. So these guys are all kind of hanging out at the top, maybe a little bit mid water, but there's literally like nothing at the top. So it's kind of interesting that that group of sips is just kind of hanging out at the bottom, at, the mid water level, and kind of like intermixing a little bit with the shellies. See, let me see. So that's kind of the. That was really all the fish I bought. Like I said, there's not a lot of tank space left in here anymore. So I don't buy a ton most of the time. Um, speaking of, these guys have been, these guys have really darkened up. It's gotten a little bit warmer here. So, this room does get a little bit seasonal. So these guys have definitely kind of darkened up a little bit. Kind of interesting. They were kind of light for most of the time since I've had them, but now they've kind of fired up a little bit. I did get my food order from the co-op today, and I did order, along with the food I normally order, which is just like the extreme krill, spirulina, and soapfly flakes. I did decide to try another plant. This is the Rotala Hurrah. So I kind of just planted the stems in here. I got a couple of these. I put some of them upstairs too. So we'll see how that how this does. I think it's like a Ludwigia I found at the club in the back, and that seems to be doing quite well. I'll put it over the top here. That one seems to be doing quite well in here, so I figured I'd try some other stem plants and see how they do. Kind of a cool fry update. I bought these a few weeks ago. These Xiphophorus helleri guntheri, and got about 4 or 5 fries swimming around in here now. So if you can see that little guy right there. Back a little bit. So there's about 4 or 5 of these guys. I don't know if you can see them. There's one in the back. But yeah, these, I really do like this wild sword. Pretty nice looking fish. So there's one right there. I think we've talked a lot about the trophies babies too. These guys have been out quite a bit now. So yeah, so they've kind of added themselves to the herd kind of. So hopefully they'll keep breeding and we can get a pretty large colony of these guys going in here. Check out some other stuff. So these guys have been pretty prolific too. These orange swordtails. Of course, the fry aren't out right now. There's one. There's a couple that are going back into the guppy grass. So those have been pretty prolific too. So let me go ahead here and I will take a look here at the chat real quick. I think it's Belize. I think is where it's from. Alec, I think that one is from Golden Stream in Belize, is I believe the location for that. All right, so let me put this camera on me real quick. So we're gonna have to do a quick camera change. So I do apologize. So we've got so All right, so let me go ahead and catch up with the chat. I know I kind of went quite a bit without getting the chat here. So, all right. All right, so let me go ahead and catch up with all of the last kind of 20 minutes or so. All right, so AJ, at Skull Aquatics, I've been planning on doing a Daphnia this year. I think Fish Tank Barn did a video on it. Yes, I did. Unfortunately, I did lose the Daphnia. I think I got some flies or something in it, but it's pretty easy. I think it's really easy when you put it outside, and you can kind of just let nature kind of take its course with them. I change the water about once a week. But if you have a bigger container, like I would actually go and put them out in I do them in like one of those like 55-gallon containers, and that way you don't really have to change the water that much. So I did do the Daphnia video. That's correct. I think there was a comment too on. All right, so let me keep flipping through here. Sorry, this is not exciting. So Audra is over hatching baby brine shrimp every single day. I go in spurts. Occasionally, I'll get in the mood to do it, and then I'll go ahead and get some salt and hatch them for a while. And then the one thing that's kind of deterred me now from the guppy grass here is the Magic Nano feed. I really like this stuff. Like, I'll go through here and some of the fry tanks. I'll go in and I'll throw this in there just to kind of give the fry something that's kind of more their size. So why is Mike's guppy grass prettier than mine was? So are there multiple species of Naha's grass? Zen, there probably is. I would imagine, like, I am not an expert when it comes to the plants, but I think I would imagine there are, just off the top of my head. I don't know why. I mean, we have pretty interesting, I don't want to say interesting, but it's always seemed to do very well in my water for whatever reason. When I did the easy snail shell video, I did test my water again. So the GH was kind of between. Let me look at my test kit here to give me a kind of a guideline. So I used one of these Aquarium clock test kits. So let me look at the scale real quick. So the hardness was kind of in that 150 to 300 range for GH, and then the KH was kind of like that, like 120ish range or so. So that's kind of where my water sits. pH wise, it's call it 7.6 to 8. So, so yeah. So everyone here's all the water that comes into the barn comes from Lake Huron. I think we may have lost the camera. All right, so hopefully you have the camera on me still. Someone just called. So I'm actually like live, someone called during the live stream. That's never happened. So hopefully you can still see me. Let me know in the chat if you can't. Oh, crap. Crap. All right, looks like it's back. Okay, good. Yeah, someone, because I use my phone for this part of the camera. So, yeah. So I can't, yeah. So I was trying to make the call go away so you guys didn't hear the ringing. So that's good to know that it actually does come back. So let me get back here to where we were. All right. So let me flip through here. So MSC got rid of 20 dragon babies today, so I think that's green dragon plecos, I would assume. AJ said Impulse bought 2 assorted cichlids at PetSmart on the weekend. I always say I'll never do it again. Yeah, the PetSmart cichlids, like the mixed bag, is kind of the land of misfit toys. Zen asked, "Are those multis or simless?" The ones there are multis that are with the cyprochromis. I have the simless too, but I probably couldn't tell them apart, unless obviously I bought them at different times. So the ones that they're with the sips though are the simless. Um, Brent Lightcap. So that's let me go ahead and look. Um, Jeff, have you ever tried the Chihiros for the Prism Light? Maybe it needs to be surface of the sun bright. Um, I don't know what that's referring to. I'm kind of sad the co-op lights are gone. Those are kind of are very good. Um, very good light. I thought it's unfortunate they lost their supplier, but I think that's kind of how the world works when it comes to that. So people say the letter. Don't people say the letter H raw? LOL. Yeah, like I said, I'm not. I'm more of a fish guy than a plant guy. Is it? MSC said I need some Montezuma swordtails. I've had them in the past. Didn't do too well for me, but I would be open to trying them again. Um, there's a tank down here that I kind of need to clean out. It's just got a couple random fish in it. So that would be a good one to get it out. So, um, so so Alex said that, yeah, that's correct. That is the one that won best of show. So I bought from that same line from the individual who won best of show at the ALA. So Flatbed said, "Do we need to get the taser and bullwhips out?" Not sure. Let me see. So I think I'm caught up. Let me see. So hey Bob, um, thank you very much for joining. I've always been a fan of your channel, so thank you Bob and Chelsea for joining. So hopefully you're getting a fair amount of sleep, and congratulations on the new baby. So um, that's an exciting time. I remember those days. Don't um, don't blink because it goes by quickly. So let me see. No, the Steam Fox did not make the screen go blank. Um, someone else did, um, and then Skull Aquatics said the ALA this year. We'll see. Still in limbo. So thank you, Audra, for the super $20 super chat. That's very much appreciated for the barn fund. So uh, definitely, that's very much appreciated. Um, so yeah. So with that, it's getting to be about 9 o'clock. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll head back into the house real quick, answer some last minute questions, and kind of wrap things up. Um, so give me a couple of shakes of the lamb's tail, and I'll be back in the house. All right, we're back. So, all right, so we are back in action here. So let me go ahead and see what we got. So we've got the koi pit here. I think that might be a new name. So thank you for coming. AJ said that barn is seriously incredible. I appreciate it. It is a labor of love, and I think we just froze the camera again. Yes, this camera's it's been freezing today for some reason. So let me see what I can do here. Yep. All right, let me try shutting it off and shutting it back on real quick. That seems to work. Give me 1 second here. We'll flip you guys to the barn cam for just a minute. Any luck? Nope. All right. Yes, I don't know why the camera is frozen. So yeah, so unfortunately we've run into the it's the end here anyway. So we've run into some technical difficulties here with the camera. Like it's been doing that today, so I think I maybe need to clean out the memory card. It's actually if you've set up streams, this actually isn't weird because basically there's two separate scenes because this is a green screen. So if I click this, maybe you can see it. But yeah, so there's a green screen behind the camera, so the video and everything is still working. It's just the camera now. For whatever reason, I don't know. I think I just have to go clean out the memory. No, I don't think so. I don't think it overheated. And this streaming software is a little weird because what it'll do is it will it seems to you have to if you ever set up anything new, you have to kind of close it and reopen it. So but then I don't want to lose the stream. So green screen. No, the green screen is just I'm actually in the house now, so the barn is is very real. So so that's funny because I have thought about that. Is people could probably hologram a YouTube channel, and you could probably kind of fake it to a point. But no, the barn is very real. Going back to his comment, there was a comment about the barn. The barn is very much a labor of love. It is in the winter, especially very expensive to run, but that just kind of comes with it. But no, just this this part is very much. It's just so you don't basically see my work computer and the sink and all the other stuff that's back here. So no, I am not an AI generated image. I'd make myself a lot better looking if I was an AI image. Just kidding, of course. But yeah, I would come up with a different image, but that's okay. So anyways, I think we're gonna at that point. I think we've kind of, with the frozen camera, we've kind of lost control of things. So I think it's a good time to end it. I always appreciate you guys' support. Thank you for becoming members. Thank you for so SC Catahoulous. The barn is a sandbox program that he just walks around in. No, it's not. That's my dad. That's on Jeffrey Howe. That's on there. It is very real. It is a real building. Other people have been in here too. Primetime Aquatics has been in there. So it is a very real building. So yeah. So with that, I think we're gonna go ahead and put this to bed. You can stop looking at my frozen face here on the screen now. So have a great Tuesday. What's remaining of it. Have a great rest of your week and weekend, and then I'll see you guys again next Tuesday night. So a fish barn simulator would be a fun game. So yeah, that's kind of funny actually. So all right, we'll work on figuring out why the camera's freezing. So so tours must be had for proof. So Otter, the barn is a very hard place to tour. it's there's elements of it that are of the floor, especially upstairs, that are not in the best of shape. But yeah, we can play. We can make a fish barn like Sims game. Um, you know. So, all right. So that